So once I got into DJing, it's kind of like I learned the concept. I was like just watching,
Mm-hmm.
watching Scratch on Rap City, and I would just act out, and I was scratching up my mom and pops, their gospel records, just to get the sound, trying to reenact the sound that I was hearing them do. I was like, oh, okay. So ended up finding out I had a cousin named DJ Said, North Myrtle Beach, and by this time I think I was almost positive that this is something that I want to take a shot at. Went to his crib, convinced my mom, like, yo, I want to buy his mixer. He was selling me a mixer for $80. So I convinced my mom, take me down to the North Myrtle Beach, went to his crib, and that was my first time ever touching a full set of turntables and a mixer. And my first time touching that set, it was like, this is where you're supposed to be. And from there, once I got my first set for myself, I was just like, practicing a little bit in the crib. It was like, oh yeah, I could do this. And by the time I did my second party, I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yo, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So for all those crazy people out there who never heard of your boy, they ain't tapped in, they don't know what's going on. South Carolina is in the building. Give us your name and tell us what you do in a couple of seconds.
The Mashout King, DJ Skillz, representing North and South Carolina, and I'm just known for creating experiences and vibes like none other. Sit.
I like that. So let's go back to where it all started for you in South Carolina with your moms, your pops, the dog, the cat, your sister, your brother, all of that. How did you fall in love with hip hop?
I was just always surrounded around it. From neighbors, a lot of people I grew up with. They was older than me, but they was always watching. It was Yo MTV Raps at the time. So, seeing the Heavy D, Mr. Big Stuff video and watching the Breaking movie and, things of that nature. And as I started to get older, Rap City and, things of that nature. And I was always around music. So, hip hop is just something that is always just it. When I latched on, it just stuck.
Okay. I like that. So you mentioned Rap City. A big prominent figure in Rap City was Big Tigger, the basement. Did Big Tigger attract you by bringing Kiss to the studio, yelling to his mom to bring food downstairs in the basement? Did that stuff attract you initially when you got into the music industry?
Well, actually, it was before Tigger came on Rap City, the basement. It was Chris Thomas when he was the mayor of Rap City. That was before Tigger came on. And shouts to Tigger, that's my guy. We do a couple of joints together. But by the time Tigger came on, I was in college then, so it was like a whole new facelift, and it was relatable, and by then I was definitely probably like 4 to 5 years into DJing, so it definitely put a little gasoline to the fire a little bit.
Okay. So let me ask you this: being a DJ, I don't know. For you, you got dope DJs out there, DJ Cassidy and stuff like that. For you, who was your idol as a DJ? Who was DJ Skillz looking up to when you was coming up in the industry?
Well, I had a few. Kid Capri, SNS, DJ Rock Raider, RP DJ Rock Raider, Clue and Ron G. Those are like some of my top DJs that I used to always look up to. And also like DJ Scratch, because he was kind of like one of the DJs you would see the most, on TV at the time, displaying like the full, aspect of DJing. So those were kind of like some of the DJs I would watch like constantly, growing up before I even like really got knee deep into it.
Okay. I like that. So I like the name. I've been saying it all week, DJ Skillz. And you got the Z on the end. I'm feeling
Absolutely.
that. Obviously, it's simple, it's catchy, it's all of that, and a bag of chips. How did you come up with the name DJ Skillz?
Well, first off, my first DJ name was DJ B, just the letter B. That was the first initial of my government name. And once I really got into DJing, I was in the 10th grade. And there was a guy in my African-American heritage class named a guy named Jabri. He was a rapper, and he was dope at the time. And most people in school knew me for playing. Well, I ain't gonna say most people. Everybody that knew me in school knew me for playing ball because that's all I did. I was playing sports all my life. But then when I got into DJing, start doing little mixtapes here and there, and then they found out who my family was, and I was kind of like under the tutorage of him. It was like like you dope, and so they was like, you got to have a better name than B. Like you got to have something that describes who you are and what you do. Because I was into like doing tricks and everything that wows the crowd outside of rocking a party. I was into it. So the guy Jabri was like, yo, like you need to describe your skills. You should call yourself DJ Skillz. And I was just like, nah, I don't want to use that name because at the time, we talking about like 95, 96. Right. I don't know if you know Mad Skillz, the rapper from Richmond, Virginia. He had just came out, and I was also a fan of him. Okay. So he had just came out that year, and I was like, I don't want to seem like I'm biting his name, and and he spelled his name Skillz, but it was Mad Skillz. And so the guy Jabri was like, nah, he called himself Mad Skillz, and he's a rapper. He's like, but there's no DJs out here calling themselves DJ Skillz, and they nice like you. So I probably like sat on it for like the rest of the class, and I was just like, well, here it is, DJ Skillz, we here, and that's it. The rest is history.
I like that. I like that. I like that. So let me ask you this. You said you played ball. Was that basketball, football, or
basketball, football, baseball, all three?
Okay. So was you really nice with it, or was you the water boy or something like that? What's up? Let us know right here on the Pimp Game Podcast.
Yeah, funny thing. Like, so I started out basketball and football has always been my core, but I could play all. And I got into baseball probably when I was like 7. I played baseball from like 7 all the way to 12, but I gave up on that because I didn't want to play during the hot summers. I was making all-star. I was good in all three, but basketball was like really my core. And I was a water boy for 1 year because they wouldn't let me play on the 7th grade team. And the JV team said I was too young to be picked up. So I was a water boy my 7th grade year, but it was pretty much for me to learn the system. So then when the 8th grade came around, 8th grade tryouts, they ain't let me. It's like me and 2 other players, Frankie and Josh. They didn't let us try out my 8th grade year. They were just like, y'all not gonna be able to try out because y'all are gonna be playing for the JV team. So it was just kind of like a thing of, it was like a lesson in that, like, humble yourself, but also you're there to learn a system. And lo and behold, 8th grade year, I was on the JV squad. So yeah, basketball was kind of like more so like my main thing though.
Okay. I like that. So mentioning basketball, the playoffs is crazy this year. A crazy game last night, the Pacers and the Celtics. Right. What was your thoughts on that, on the Pacers really just giving the game away at the end? What is DJ Skillz' thoughts on that game last night between the Pacers and the Celtics?
Well, I'll tell you this. I watched the game for like the first 3 quarters solid, and then I clocked out. But I am surprised how Indiana is competing. They showed me a lot last night because I was just like, Boston is going to run. They're going to sweep Indiana, and that's it. Like, it's not even going to be no competition because I really want to see Boston and the Knicks. Like, that was a lineup I really wanted to see. But, I think it is going to be a competitive series overall because, Indiana, it seemed like, if you sleep, they'll get one up on you. But, I tapped out probably like midway through the 3rd quarter, but the game was closer than what I thought. It was definitely closer than what I thought. And, and somewhere in my mind, I probably was like, Boston going to end up pulling this out some way or another. But, I didn't catch the last quarter because I tapped out. But, yeah, I think Indiana is definitely proven to be a sleeper team, though. You got to watch them.
All right. So another game going on tonight is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks. Give me your choice on that, and also give me DJ Skillz' pick for this year to go to the NBA Finals.
Man, I'm gonna go with Kyrie and the Mavericks. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kyrie and the Mavericks to win the Western Conference Series. The Finals, man. If I want to pick from a Vegas side, I'm probably going to say it's time for the East Coast to win the championship because the West has won it, the past couple of years. But if I'm going skill set and talent, I don't know. I think Dallas will pull it out. I think it'll go back to the West.
All right. I like that. Well said. All right. Yo, if you are just joining us, we are live on the Pimp Game Podcast. We are here with the one and only South Carolina's finest. That's right. DJ Skillz. Don't forget the Z on the end.
Absolutely.
All
No
right,
S,
right
all
here
Z's.
on the Pimp Game Podcast. So let me ask you this. I was checking you out a little bit in your bio and stuff like that. I was very impressed. You work with Mr.Cheeks, did a video with him. How was that working with Mr.Cheeks back in the day and stuff like that? They were nice, a nice group. You know, music has really lost its touch. How was that for you working with Mr.Cheeks?
That was my first time working with him, but my first encounter with him, like, and, you know, I'm from Florence, South Carolina, but like when I was growing up during that 90s era, they used to always have prominent hip hop artists come through my city. So my first time even meeting them was, I want to say it was like 96, 97. Freaky Ty was still living. This was the whole entire Lost Boys crew. One of the guys I was cool with back in the day, Tycho, that was his family. And my guy G Money, him and Cheeks was family. And they all were living in my city. So that was my first time really, you know, being around them and just meeting them. And they, you know, was down to earth. So fast forward to, I want to say this was the summer of 2001, I want to say. And my manager at the time, Marty, he's from originally, he, you know, from Queens. And he knew Cheeks people and he was managing me. And this is the same time I was in college. But he you know, caught when Cheeks was about to come out, solo album, had the lights, camera, action joint. They like, yo, they expecting it to blow, you know. So they like, they shooting the video in Miami. I'm living in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time, and he's like, yo, we gotta get you in this video. Like, they gave us the green light to come down, they get us in. So I was like, all right. So we made a 13-hour ride from Raleigh to Miami. I'll never make that ride ever again. That's the longest, most treacherous ride ever. But we made the ride, we made the trip. Got to hang out on set all day. That was like really my first time being on an actual video set. Cause you know me, I'm just like, all right, we're gonna go there, you know, they're gonna be shooting the video, they're gonna just, all right, here, get in here, and we gonna get this look. Nah, we probably got on set like 3 p.m. This was the club scene of lights, camera, action. They was taking a break from that, but it was, you know, they were shooting pieces here and there. This is like 3 p.m. So next thing you know, I'm kind of getting like, all right, this we can bounce because what's going on? But I, you know, this, like I said, this is my first time being on an actual video set. Time passed by, it's like 9 p.m. They like, all right, so now we about to do a set change. And I think we went to Key West that night. That was the nighttime scene. There was like a little island out on Key West. I know we was like far outside of Miami. The Marleys was there, you know, everybody, the whole team was there. And that's where I actually got my my actual cameo. And they actually showed it like it was like a scene towards the end of the video where Cheeks was by the bikes on the islands or whatever. And I was like putting the L's up. But yeah, that was like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But it was dope, man. Definitely a friendship and a you know, brotherhood type bond, family type bond connected from that. Cause you know, right after that, you know, Cheeks was doing lights, camera, action. You know, he was getting booked several places to do parties and, you know, club dates, and I was right there along with him playing at most of the parties. And even now to this day, like, you know, we get booked for a lot of things. And I just talked to his brother like 2 days ago, kind of working on a couple of things with them coming up in the near future. So, you know, it was a good experience, man, and it's still paying off.
Well said, well said. I like that. So let me ask you this, because with the Lost Boys, obviously Freaky Ty passed away. Somebody shot him or what have you at a party, I believe. 2 questions for you, DJ Skillz, since you're close to them. Did they ever find the person who did that? And also, how devastating was that for the Lost Boys to lose probably their heart and soul of the group, Freaky Ty?
Right. I'm not sure if they found the person. Like I said, because like during this time, I'm in the Carolina, so I didn't really have a relationship with him. But being a fan, I was devastated. The same way I heard about Biggie getting killed, it was like the same thing. And you know, with Freaky Ty, I guess it was different because I was actually able to be around them, and it was just kind of like, yo, like he was cool, and you know, so just kind of like feeling that synergy of like, wow, man, like that's that's wild. Like, you know, but during that time, knowing exactly what happened and who did it, it was just kind of like a thing of you don't know. As I got older and start, you know, you go search the YouTube links and things, I started finding out the more the backstory, and it's still wild and crazy to me. But yeah, nah, I don't know if they caught him or not. But I do know that I think a void. He left a void, huge void. Because it's like if you grew up on 90s hip hop and you was a fan of the Lost Boys, Freaky Ty was like, he was like the voice of the Lost Boys. Like, you know, Cheeks is the lyricist, but it's just kind of like Ty along with Cheeks was like the personality, seemed like, you know what I'm saying? So you could just tell, you know, you could tell it was a void that was lost. It was a piece that was missing. It's almost like Busta and Spliff Star. You see Busta on stage, it probably wouldn't feel right without seeing Spliff Star right there beside him. And it was kind of like the same thing, but Freaky Ty was actually a part of Cheeks record. So it's like he's a part of the production. So, you know, you can definitely tell it was like a void that was missing. I can imagine that process, even with Cheeks going back doing a solo project. I can almost imagine that it felt, you know what I'm saying, a little bit different, because for the first time, you don't have your right hand with you. Like, you know what I'm saying, that's right there pretty much ad-libbing your record. So I can imagine it was a huge void that was there. You know what I'm saying? It probably took a while to get over.
Wow. So let me ask you this, because I've always wondered this in the rap game, hip hop, or what have you, since the beginning of time. We're going back to Jam Master Jay, all of that, with him doing his thing, him getting gunned down, Pac getting gunned down, Biggie getting gunned down. Recently from Migos, Takeoff getting gunned down. What's up with the rappers getting gunned down? What do you think it's an envy thing? Is it jealousy that when these cats are big stars, or, you know, they're really doing their thing, is it like a hate that kind of builds from people that's closely around them? What is your thoughts on that with these rappers just dying since the beginning of time?
I think it is it's some level of that. Actually, I think it does play a part to some degree. Now, to actually nail it and say exactly what it is, I can't, because I mean, I'm like you. I grew up as a fan of hip hop, enjoying the culture, being engulfed in the culture. We talking before I wanted to be a DJ. I was a fan and a product of hip hop, and just being a part of the culture, like dressing, the slang, listening to the music. Like I'm just like you. You know, so the rhyme and reason behind it is kind of like, it has to be some level of jealousy, envy, you know, like they say with the Biggie and Pac thing, the beef, you know. But I definitely think to some degree, like jealousy and envy, it definitely has to play a part somewhere in that equation. It can be multiple things, but I definitely would have to agree with you and say jealousy and envy has a hand in it. It plays a role in it as well.
So let me say this, or let me ask this: in terms of the jealousy and the envy, how does a rapper or even a DJ, well-known DJ, DJ Khaled or something like that, how do they avoid the jealousy and the envy, or is that something that just comes with the territory once you're becoming successful, even if you're a cook or something like that, or you're a computer, whatever? But for in the hip hop world as a DJ, how can a DJ avoid envy and jealousy?
I don't think that's a thing that's avoidable. With success comes visibility. With visibility comes attention from people that you don't know. They become fans. They become customers. They turn into your clientele. Some be haters. It's something that comes with the territory. I think one thing that I've learned, because I really had to dumb down, you know, on it for myself, but it's just like, you got to tune out the noise, because that's what it is. It's outside noise, and tend to the business that pays you and that take care of you and everybody and everything in your circle, you know. And nowadays, I don't know, like with social media and everything now, you know, everything is just changing over the years, and you know, it's just getting crazy. And it's like, you know, to have a business and have a successful business, you have to be visible, you know, but I still feel like to some degree to maintain your level of peace of mind and to protect your what's yours and protect your family and protect the people around you and your household, you know, you got to kind of balance all of that out. And along with that, it's like really like you got to tune out the outside noise. If it's not making you money, that means it's costing you money. You got to learn to shut that out and stay focused on who's supporting and who's feeding into positivity of what it is you're trying to do to move forward. You know what I'm saying? I think that's key. I mean, I practice that a lot for myself. I mean, everybody have hardships in this game. You run around, you come across people that do bad business. You come around people that, you know, that hate just for no reason, just because, you know, but you can't focus on them. You know, now, unless you bring in that in, if you're giving out that energy, it's going to come back. But, you know, the people are going to latch on to the energy that you're giving out. And that's what you got to concentrate on. And that's what you got to focus on. Focus on them. All that other stuff is going to come. It's without warning. Like, it's going to come. But you got to tune it out.
Okay. Well said. Yo, if you are just joining us, we are live on the Pimp Game Podcast. And we are here with the one and only DJ Skillz. That's right, South Carolina's finest, right here on the Pimp Game Podcast, talking to him about his hip-hop DJ music career. All right? So let me ask you this. In terms of DJing, you mentioned earlier, you alluded to it, the dude gave you the name DJ Skillz because you was nice. In your estimation of your own self, when did you know that DJ Skillz was nice? Like, yo, I'm nice with this. When did you have that moment?
When I started, one thing about me, I have never embarked on anything that I didn't think I was going to be able to carry out. And that just started for me in my playing sports. Every sport I played in, I was an all-star. I'm not afraid of, I've never been afraid of competition. I always believed in maxing out all my opportunities and, you know, not settling. Don't just be there just to say you're there and showing up. No, show up and let them know that you're here. So, like I said, I taught myself how to play drums when I was like 5 or 6, playing on pots and pans. Didn't actually get a real drum set till I was like 10. But for those that didn't know, or saw me playing drums for the first time, it was almost like we just saw him yesterday doing this or playing ball. How he's playing drums today. I taught myself, you know what I'm saying? So anything that I embarked on, I was never afraid to do the work behind closed doors and everybody didn't know what was going on. Or, you know, even from sports, I'll be outside, like people that grew up with me, they'll tell you, I'll be outside at night with a lamp shining on my goalpost. Shooting jumpers 9 o'clock at night in the wintertime. Like, I've been like a perfectionist, or, you know, just always wanted to be the best version of whatever it is that I'm doing. So once I got into DJing, it's kind of like I learned the concept. I was like just watching, you know, watching Scratch on Rap City, and I would just act out, and I was scratching up my mom and pops, you know, their gospel records, you know, just to get the sound, trying to reenact the sound that I was hearing them do. I was like, oh, okay. So ended up finding out I had a cousin named DJ Said, North Myrtle Beach. And by this time, I think I was almost positive that this is something that I want to take a shot at. Went to his crib, convinced my mom, like, yo, I want to buy his mixer. He was selling me a mixer for $80. So I convinced my mom, take me down to the North Myrtle Beach, went to his crib. And that was my first time ever touching a full set of turntables and a mixer. And my first time touching that set, it was like, this is where you're supposed to be. And from there, once I got my first set for myself, I was just like, you know, practicing a little bit in the crib. It was like, oh yeah, I can do this. And by the time I did my second party, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is it.
I like that. So when I was reading your bio, I saw something that was very profound to me. It reminded me of Nas a little bit, but you dropped out of college to pursue the music career in the industry. How was that for you? Was that scary, not knowing what it was going to be? How was it for DJ Skillz when you first dropped out of college?
I can't say that I was scared, because by the time I dropped out, this was This was no, was it 2021? No, spring 2022 is when I dropped out and I said, this is it. I'm not coming back. Because I was off and on. I think I was a part-time student at that time because I was traveling doing parties. So from 99, because my first tour I went on with the RZA in 1999. It was the Bobby Digital tour. That was my first glimpse into the industry and touring world. Once I experienced, no, I take that back. That was 98. That was fall 98. Fall 99 was my first full-fledged tour with the Young Bloods at the time and Jim Crow, which had Polo the Don in the group, and I was the opening DJ for the tour. So from there, it was just kind of like I'm traveling up and down the East Coast, down south, and at that time I was opening for DJ B. Lord. Shouts to him, major player in South Carolina music scene. I was getting the exposure all those years. So fall of 99, that was the first time I dropped out. Went to school my full freshman year, dropped out, took a break. It's fall 99 going into my sophomore year because I was on tour that whole semester. Came back spring semester, now we in the 2000. I was getting glimpses of different things that was going on, and I was getting calls from like different people in different states to come and do, parties. Every year it was like this. It was constant elevation. You know what I'm saying? So by the time the Cheeks video hit, and during that time, we was doing after parties for the Nelly Destiny Child tour. That's when they just came out. All this was in 2000. So going into spring of 2002, 2002, I was just like, I think I want to do this full time. Like my mind was already kind of pretty much there, and I was going to school for mass communication. I was majoring in mass communication with a concentration in broadcasting, and I was already starting to do little features at radio stations at the same time. So it was kind of like, all right, if this is meant to be, it's gonna work out how it's supposed to work out. If not, I can always come back to school and finish up, and I can just pick up where I left off, or I can just get a job in radio or whatever. This is then. So by the time I said I wasn't coming back, going back to school, during that time period, I'll say it probably was maybe 5-6 months. Ended up meeting Kanye West. This is when he had the this is the Wire mixtape I think he had. I can't think of the name, but I ended up meeting Kanye West. Also during that downtime, it was like I said, on all of this happened around the same time, 5 to 6 months. Ended up getting a job in radio at Foxy 99 FM, which is in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's like the mega station throughout North and South Carolina from a widest perspective. It's almost like the Hot 97 in New York. So all those things happening around the same time, it was just kind of like, all right. Because I said to myself, and I said to my parents, they'll tell you, I don't want to go back to school. I want to try my hand at this full time. And I told them, both my parents are preachers. So it was kind of like, well, if this doesn't work, what are you going to do? So it was kind of like if it doesn't work, I can always go back to school, but I never know what this can be if I don't try it 100%, because I'm part-time with it. Like I'm part-time with music and part-time with school. I want to be 100% in on something. And I was like, I wanted to try my hand at the music. And like I said, during that period of time, and I said, if it didn't work out in a year, I was going to go back to school. I ain't been back to school since. So
wow. Well said. The college dropout, DJ
yeah.
Skillz.
And during that time, that's how I ended up when I met Kanye. We ended up doing the College Dropout, right to set up the release of the College Dropout album. We did the College Dropout mixtape as well too during that time. So all of that was like confirmation to me. Is like, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yo, this your boy Kenny D. Hey, I didn't mean to interrupt your show, but I just want to take a quick minute just to let you guys know, if you want to see more dope interviews like this one, make sure you go on YouTube and check out Pimp Game Podcast. All right? And don't forget about our website, pimpgamepodcast.com, to see all your latest Pimp Game episodes. All right? We got you. Man, I'm done talking. Back to the show. So let me ask you this. Is that
Mhm.
something you talk to Kanye West about? Like, yo, I dropped out of college. This is so dope. I'm doing the college dropout with you. How crazy was that you guys could have that kind of synergy with that was the name of his album or whatever, and you actually dropped out of college? How crazy was that synergy for you and Kanye?
So my manager then, E. Terry, he was doing he was head of promotions for Rockefeller for the Southeast or for North Carolina. So anything that moved from Def Jam and Rockefeller that was coming through the area, he knew before anybody knew. So like when they signed Kanye, we knew, but nobody didn't really know who Kanye was at this time. Not the world, like not the Kanye that we know now. So I can't remember. I want to say before I even met Kanye, I had the idea of doing a college dropout mixtape. So then Kanye had this mixtape right after he got in that accident. It was like Through the Wire and all these other songs on it, but it was like the setup, I think, for the actual College Dropout album. So my manager already knew that, Kanye was about to do a College Dropout album. I'm like, well, yo, I was going to do it because I had just dropped out of college. And most of the people, if you're not familiar with North Carolina, it's like a hub for all HBCU schools. And I was doing a lot of the parties. So for me, it was just kind of like, this is a part of me telling my story about me being a college dropout and showcasing my talents, what people already know me for. This is just going to push the envelope further. So when they was like, well, Kanye West doing an album called A College Dropout, and I'm just like, wow, isn't this a coincidence? So me and my manager then, E. Terry, shouts to him, we was talking, and I was just like, yo, you think we might get Kanye to host this joint? And he's like, I don't know, like we can just see when he get here. So he was actually coming in, he was in town for a music conference at that time. And when he got in town, my manager had to go pick him up. So they had the one-on-one time. So when they had the one-on-one time, he was talking to him and like, yeah, I manage a DJ. He's doing a mixtape called A College Dropout because he just dropped out of college or whatever. And he's like, yeah, we could sit down and chop it up, whatever. So I'm working on radio at the time in Fayetteville, which is an hour from Raleigh. But they were in Raleigh, which is where I was living. So before I went to the station, they went to this restaurant called Bahama Breeze that was on Wake Forest Road in Raleigh. And my manager called me, and it's like an hour before I need to leave to get on the highway to drive another hour. So he's like, yo, I got Kanye up here right now at Bahama Breeze. He was like, yo, he's down with doing the mixtape, but he was like, come up here right now so y'all can talk, because there's nobody here but me and him. I think Don C was with him as well at the time, but it wasn't like a whole entourage of people. It's like, if you want to really have a conversation, now is the time. And I'm just like, I gotta get ready for my radio show. He's like, look, throw your stuff in the car, come up the street, because literally the restaurant was like 10 minutes up the road from my house at the time. So I went there, went to the bar, introduced myself, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm definitely digging your mixtape, because I was digging his mixtape. I had already listened to the mixtape before, and he was just like, yeah, that's cool. He's like, yeah, your manager was telling me that you trying to take my title for my album. And I was just like, nah. I said, I'm a college dropout too. So, I said, I had the idea before I even knew that you was doing an album, and the fact that you was coming here for a conference, I'm just like, yo, this only makes sense for me to try to get you to host it. And he's like, nah, I'm messing with you. He's like, yeah, I'm down to host it. Like, he's like, just find me a studio. I knock out all the drops. And he's like, and we're good. So that's how that happened. And I got on the road, went to Fayetteville, did my radio show, came back. That's when we linked them up with Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder was a part of the group Little Brother at the time, and that's when they recorded the See Now record. While this whole process is going, that's when they linked up. They kind of got a bond. They was able to record the See Now record, and I got my drops. And yeah, it was an experience of like, man, like this thing is really happening. Like, and like I didn't have to go to New York to do that. Now after that, I worked on a couple of other mixtape projects with like with r&bmusic, which is the R&B, was the R&B division of Rockefeller Records. Now I go to New York, but that kind of helped strengthen my relationships with a lot of people.
Okay. I like that. Now you mentioned Rockefeller Records. Obviously, Dame, Jay-Z, and all of that, they was there. What's up? Did you ever get a chance to meet Dame? How was his personality, if you ever got a chance to meet Dame Dash?
that was just more so in passing. Like my connections with people at Rockefeller at that time was like Bobby Dash, Dame Gales, Kenny Burns, because Kenny Burns was over rock music. Like I said, that was the R&B division. I got Chubbs, and and I was more so dealing firsthand with Rel, the R&B singer at the time. So anything else outside of that was pretty much just in passing. Ended up developing a real good relationship with Cam and a couple of guys from the Dipset, Black Adon and British. Freaky Zeke, shouts to him. He's down here in North Carolina now. So yeah, it was I was ended up connecting with a couple of people, but with Dame and them, it was much more so like in passing. Like it's not like they would know me or if they see me, it might be a thing of your face looked familiar, but yeah, it wasn't like how I was building with everybody else.
Okay. Well said, well said. So you work with some big names that includes Diddy, Mary J. Blige, Busta Rhymes, a lot of people. What's up with them? How was that experience working with Mary J. and Diddy?
Well, it was more so just from a party aspect when I work with a lot of these artists. Because my main thing is I'm a curator of dope vibes and creating experiences. So most of the times when I'm linking with these artists, it's more so from a party aspect. I'm really not really meeting these artists. They're in the building where they're the star and the feature or the host of the evening, and I'm the lead music director for majority of these events, or it's at like festivals and this, that, and the third. Like I did a party for Diddy out here in Charlotte. I forgot what was going on. I don't know if it was, I think it might have been the Bad Boy reunion too, but he was the host. We chopped it up very briefly in passing. Mary J. Blige, I did the Mary tour. That was what is it, the Good Morning Gorgeous tour? I think it was like 2 years ago. I was a DJ on that for select cities. So not really, it wasn't really like a personal thing like how I sat and talked with Kanye. Now it is some artists that I do have that relationship with, like a Dougie Fresh, because I have traveled extensively with Dougie since 2016. But yeah, like as far as personal, it's not really nothing. It's not a personal relationship. It's just I'm there to do my job, do the music, entertain these people, entertain you, making sure that you and your crew having fun. And long as y'all doing that, I'm good.
Okay. I like that. Now, today's quick topic of the show is the Diddy tape with him abusing Cassie in the hotel. Remember, he said he denied all the allegations, stuff like that, came back and apologized. Now, you said you chopped it up with Diddy. Those are your words. What's up? I'm just saying, what is your thoughts on the tape of him doing that to Cassidy in the hotel when he previously denied it?
Right. I mean, so I'll say this because I don't have a dog in the fight. I wasn't around during that time or any of those things. The only thing I don't condone a man talking to a woman crazy, right? Mm-hmm. First off, I don't condone a woman talking to a man crazy. I was raised different. Like I was taught to treat people how you want to be treated and talk like you want people to respect you. So like when I saw the video, it was just like, wow. Seeing it, you hear things, like I said, I'm not a person that I don't jump conclusions or jump into business that I can't tell you factual things on. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you my opinion and I'm skating on past that. So, like I said, my take on it is this. I don't agree with nobody talking to nobody crazy, first off. So putting hands on you is just absolute no for me. Right. I don't agree with it. I don't condone it. It's definitely something deeper going on, I would probably say, with him. And I hope he gets the help that, he needs. And I'll say this, instead of looking for forgiveness from the people, like get yourself right with the man upstairs or whoever you believe in. Like, because at the end of the day, that's the ultimate measure and, decision maker of what's your fate going to be in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, move away from the social media piece and get yourself right, bro. Like, because it's something that really ain't right. And it ain't for you to prove to the people, like, because they don't decide your fate, So I don't condone it. Yeah, I don't condone domestic violence, verbal or physical. whichever way it goes. I don't condone it at all. Like I said, I just wasn't raised like that. Even though I would see things, that was in passing, but yeah, I never condone that. So yeah, that's my only take on that.
Okay. Well said, well said. So when I was reading your bio, I saw something that was very profound where you said it's not what you play, it's how you play it. I love
Absolutely.
that. Explain that to us here, or those viewers that don't know. What did you mean by that?
Pretty much what I mean from it's not what you play, it's how you play it. You have some DJs, they will play off that reaction for one record. And once they get that reaction, it's like, all right, so what's next? Me, I've always been the type of person of, I'm not going to play for the reaction of one record. I'm playing for the reaction of 5 to 6 records that feel like one record. So that's why I say for me, it's all about creating an experience to where you can feel like you're in a wherever you was at when you heard these songs in your life, you can relive that moment. And if it was a bad moment, you can feel happy in that moment now, because it's all about a vibe. Everybody says vibe this, vibe that, but vibe is really supposed to be like a good thing that's really unexplainable. You got to be there to experience that. So when I say it's not what you play, it's how you play it. It's the transitions. The transitions matter, whether you mixing the records or you interjecting your voice as a part of the music to transition from one song to another. But it's just, like I said, it's not what you play, it's how you play. Like a person can come on and play all the newest records out and not get the response, and they might get a response, but it's not the response that they were expecting. Somebody else can come on right after them and play all old school records and get a more crazier response. But the person before them can be like, this is like a younger crowd, this, that, and the third, this is what they want. But at the same time, how did you make these people feel when you was playing these records? That's key. So that's why it's like it ain't really what you play, it's how you play it. I always tell people, like, if you can't get a vibe or response from the crowd, play your music with confidence, create a moment for them, because that's the thing, and one of the key elements that's missing, and that's a whole nother story. But yeah.
I like that. I like that. It's not what you play, it's how you play. I like that. I really like that. All right. So let me ask you this. What's up? Any future projects, any future touring that DJ Skillz got going on right now or coming here in the works within the next couple of months, maybe even next year? Any future projects for DJ Skillz?
I have a project. It's not music related, but I have a motivationally inspired I don't want to say the kids, a children's book that I'm in the process of working on right now. Working on trying to have it released by the fall. Working with kids and at-risk youth have been one of my passions for many, many years. And even when I get a chance now, for the past couple of years, right, even before COVID, I would always go back and try to, talk to kids and, just letting them know that sky's not the limit. It's only the view. You don't have to have all of these things that the world tell you that you need to have to succeed in life. So I wanted to do something a little bit more personal, so kids can have and they can take away with them and have it every day for everyday use. So I'm gonna start with it's a motivationally inspired book for kids. Like I said, something that they can latch on to and they can just read. Something that just kind of gives them hope where hope doesn't live. So that's one thing. Like I said, hopefully that'll be released in the fall this year, 2024. And then I have my Party Life All Summer 2024 tour that actually starts next Friday, May 31st. And we're starting off in Atlanta. And I've been doing this tour probably since 2017, 2016, maybe. So got a couple of festivals that I'm on. One festival in Raleigh that I'm really excited about is the Soul Picnic with Music Soul Child. And I'm bringing a couple of special guests along with me for my DJ set. So I'm kind of excited about that because it's been something that I've been wanting to do and I've been putting in the works. And then from there, I have something else that's going to be another branch off that tree that I'm gonna throw out towards the end of the year. So I don't want to speak on it too much now because
so what you saying? We can't get the exclusive right here on the Pimp Game.
Well,
Podcast?
I can't tell you who the artists are that I'm bringing because that's a secret. So I'm
Okay.
bringing, like I said, I've been around a couple of artists in my years of DJing. So I got a couple of surprise artists that I'm bringing out during that set, but that's gonna lead to another tree, another branch from that tree of something else that I'm gonna launch. Like I said, that's gonna be in the fall as well. And I can't give you the title because I'm in trademark phases right now, and I don't want to throw it out there and it gets snatched up, and I gotta go back to the drawing board. But the concept is there. I got and it's a couple of things that I'm working on. I'm just in the legal process of making sure that the name is secured and all of these things. But yeah, those are like the book and the Soul Picnic in Raleigh, North Carolina, with Music Soul Child, and I'm gonna bring out a couple of my celebrity friends along with my set. That's kind of like two of the things that I'm really kind of like excited about going into the summer. So.
I like that. I like that. You guys, if you're just joining us, we're here with the one and only DJ Skillz. He gonna give us a little bit, but maybe not a lot. But
you're trying to get the
right?
info. You definitely trying to get the info.
Definitely trying to get it right here on the Pimp Game Podcast. So, for that young boy out there who wants to be the next DJ Skillz, for that young girl out there who might want to be the next DJ Skillz, what would you say to them if they wanted to get into the music industry as a DJ?
Learn the music industry. I wouldn't even say if you want to be a DJ, I would say look further in the industry past DJing, because the times is different. From when I got in the game to now, times is totally different. And I stress this to a lot of young people that I talk to nowadays. Do your homework and do your homework on the industry. And if you do have a gift like writing, producing, and all of these things, and even if you are an artist and you're aspiring to be an artist, look into writing, because at the end of the day, I don't think nobody's doing this to just to say that you're doing it, right? Mm-hmm. You want to get paid, but one thing that I don't think a lot of people share enough of is that playing the background pays as well. So not just scoring, not just producing music and producing musical albums, but score a movie, score a TV show, Sports Center, ESPN, all these networks. You hear these instrumentals playing in the background, they coming from somebody.
Right.
It's all music industry. Just don't look at it from what you see on social media, because there's so many different avenues that you can get paid off of it. I would just say don't limit yourself to just one thing, because it's like you're going to push yourself into a corner, and nobody wants to work under pressure. You're doing it because you love it, and you need to be able to have fun and freedom. Like the whole thing for me is the freedom of the lifestyle of being able to do what I want, when I want, make my own schedule. Nobody really tells me what to do at all. I laid my own schedule and everything out. So, don't limit yourself. Do your homework, do some research on what it is you're doing. And if you have other talents, look into that as well. And if it's not what you see, as far as what's being advertised or glamorized, as far as being in the forefront, it's always somebody working them cameras behind the people that you're seeing. Like I said, and even for writing, it's the same thing. Writers don't always just write on musical albums. They write scores for movies as well. Those checks are nice too. Just don't limit yourself. Just don't limit yourself, because it's a whole lot out there.
I don't limit yourself. I like that. Really well said. So for anybody who wants to work with you, do a set with you, maybe have you do a party with them, maybe you could, rock the crowd at their party, whatever. How do they get in contact with DJ Skillz?
Well, if you're trying to book me for any events, booking at skillsthedj.com, or you can just visit www.skillsthedj.com, Skillz with a Z, skillsthedj.com. And then, just in the social world, you can find me at Skillz the DJ, Skillz, the DJ. Everything at Skillz the DJ. You want to find me.
All right. I like that. So, what's up for those people who've been rocking with you in South Carolina with your moms, your pops, when they first gave you the name DJ Skillz, from you working with Mr.Cheeks, working with Kanye, touring with Mary J and all of that stuff? Any final thoughts and shout outs for your fans before we sign off on Pimp Game?
I mean, I'll just say the real ones that was around, they still around. They knew then and they know now. They already know what it is, and I'm still going. So I mean, it's self-explanatory. I still go around and show love. I still do. And they already know what it is. So it's not even really a shout out. They know I appreciate the love and they know that I'm still going in this. So this is not a farewell. We still moving. We still going. It's still all love. Y'all know what it is.
I like that. So before we let you go, let everybody know who you chilling with.
Yo, it's the Mashout King, DJ Skillz, and I'm here with Kenny D on the Pimp Game Podcast. Y'all already know.
Now, before I let you go, I want to say thank you to all my viewers out there for tuning in, as well as my YouTube lovers. Thank you as well. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's right. You're going to subscribe and make sure you turn those notifications on. So when we upload videos, you are the first to get it. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the one and only South Carolina's finest. That's right. DJ Skillz with a Z for blessing us with his presence on the show. I see you next time on Pimp Game. You don't want to miss it. Holla.